Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Lucid. We're jumping back into our game with Late Age Ulm. It's turn, I think 59? Let me double check. Yeah, it's turn 59. And we have been basically cleaning up some land, but really focusing on economy. We're also catching up on some of our site searching. We're looking for water sites. Curse of Blood. So that gives us a vampire. No magic sites. Oh, I didn't mention this last episode. We cast Mother Oak because, yeah, we're a nature power. That was after actually a lot of climbing. We're gonna talk about that in a hot minute. We'll check our sites real quick. Okay, I don't think we found any magic sites, so let's go talk about this. So this is how I climbed into nature, and normally as a late age home, you're not going to be casting nature spells unless you get it on your god, but this is how you do it. You get a nature astral fortune teller. You have to empower it, or her, so she gets to nature 2. Once she gets nature 2, you can make a thistle mace, and with that thistle mace you become nature 3 astral 1. When you're nature 3 astral 1, you can forge a moonvine bracelet, and that will get you up to nature 4. If you want to get up to nature 5, you can give both of these to... You have to summon something with conjuration. You can either get a fairy queen, which is nature 3. She is at conjuration 8. Or you can get an ivy king at conjuration 7. And for the ivy king actually is only 4, whereas the fairy queen is 5 nature you have to get. So you could actually skip like the moonvine bracelet and still kind of climb up, but you probably want the moonvine bracelet anyway. Yeah, actually no, you would need the moonvine bracelet. The other thing I have, and I didn't get the ivy king or the fairy queen just because, yeah, is the ring of sorcery. And so sorcery are all the non-elemental paths. And so because I was kind of pretty high in astral, I had this, and I can then go ahead and use it to put up Mother Oak. So yeah, that is not something I expected to do this game, but yeah, we did it. How am I going to use all those nature gems? I've got a few ideas. One is I can be casting this, which will add to my immortal army. Called the Worm That Walks. You get a Worm Mage Commander, and this is basically an immortal nature mage that has a reasonable chance. I think it's like a 25% chance of getting a cross path. So that's pretty cool. And they're pretty cheap, 30 nature gems. So we'll be doing that. Not too sure what else we're going to be doing with the nature gems. We don't really need more wolves, which is often what people put that to use for. So, blood economy going very strong. Look at this. Which province is this? I got 38. Holy crap. That was a lot of blood slaves. For battles, we can see mostly Utgard and Lemuria fighting. I take that from Pythium. Okay, Utgard wrecks my stuff over here. Let's watch what happens. So he's attacking some vampires. Unfortunately, no amount of Skelly spam is going to kill a properly kitted Scrotty. And my guy jumps in. Both my guys jump in. Which kind of makes sense, except now he wants to kill me, and he probably won't have too much trouble. Though we are doing some damage. Because he has a magic weapon too, he's going to go right through invulnerability. I think right now, I'm not totally sure what's happening, how I'm not getting killed immediately. It's just a matter of time, though. We can't... I mean, these guys are kind of good, but 14 damage is not a lot. Yeah. These guys are pretty affliction resistant, too, with Liquid Body in combination with Regeneration. They really don't take many afflictions. Yeah. I actually do have counters for that coming up. I don't have it yet, but at Blood 8, I will get Life for Life. And I do not make This is one of the great things about the minions. You can play for a long time and then still get better. And I feel like I'm still getting better and better with Blood Nations. Like, even just in this game, I really came to appreciate Life for Life a lot. And I'm not going to use it right as soon as I get it, but I will be using it. Right now, it's not even really on my research queue. But anyway. So that was that. We got our asses kicked by that dude. Okay, that was this battle. Okay, the Lemurian god comes out and kills them. Okay, he kills another one of my dudes. Was this battle? And that's probably going to be the same thing. I can also mind hunt these guys, so I'm not like worried about them. It's just kind of annoying. I don't really want to commit gems. Because it will take a few mind hunts to kill them. I think, let's check real quick what their MR is. Yeah, 18. That would take, I think that's probably like a 20% chance to kill with Mind Hunt. So it would take, on average, like 10 Astral Pearls to kill one of these guys and 5 Mage turns. So not, and then you kind of have to somewhat consider the gear you put on them to get them up to Astral 4. So I can do it. It's probably a good gym trade considering the gear he put on them, but not awesome. So anyway, yeah. Okay, he attacks my province. Yeah, so... Poor Utgard. Yeah. I can't remember. At some point I'm like, hey dude, like... Do you just want to, like, have your stuff? I mean, you're not going to, like, attack me successfully. Do you want to throw your armies at me? I don't think it's now, though. But, anyway. For events, we lost some population. If you recall, we don't have great luck scales. There's not a great reason to take luck as all... Basically, if you're a blood nation, or you're any nation where you're going to have a lot of troops everywhere patrolling, the misfortune events aren't that bad. The worst thing about them is when you lose a province. Well, that's not exactly the worst thing, but it's kind of a bad thing. So anyway, taking a little misfortune, we don't really get great events, but it's okay. Pythium has been killed. And we lost a dude from a disease. And we see a big, huge army here. And, yeah. Makes sense, because we're definitely eyeing the shit out of that. I think that's about it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pull up the next turn. There's not too much happening now. I'm just really focusing on economy. I might walk through a few things in more detail this time. Okay, so I think this is the Throne of the Autumn. I think that must be this one, which he took from Pythium. So that's going to give him Earth Death Mages, which is kind of cool. Voice of Apsu. Didn't find anything. Worm That Walks, Sanguine Heritage. You can see we're casting this so many times. I mean... Like, we got 6 vampire counts this turn, plus 1 vampire lord. So that's, when you want to talk about, like, a scaling blood economy, that is what we're dealing with here. Voice of Apsu. Okay, we're kind of running out of luck on our water site searching. But hey, man, we got to do it. Okay, how many... Let's just watch this. This will be kind of funny. So this is a console, pretty well geared out. Ice Aegis makes him very, very strong in cold protection places, plus he's got this, and this, and this, and this. So yeah, 167 HP, 28 protection, 25 defense, regeneration. He's empowered him all the way up to Earth 3, so very high in Earth, so he's going to be doing Temper Flesh also. His weakness here is probably his magic resistance. I don't know if that's how he's going to die, but... The Scrotty here with the Flesh Eater, this can definitely get through the protection. I don't know if it's going to get through the protection faster than he can regenerate. So 157 HP, still going pretty strong. I think that's within the range he can regen up to normal. And here he is now, 153. I don't think he's regenerating right now. I think he must be above, because he's a prophet also. He must be above his base HP. Current maximum is 132, so he'll start regenerating once he gets to 132. Pausing it. One of the great things you can do as a Death Astral Nation is you get to Skelly spam. One of the problems is that it always Skella spams. Like, always, when it's off script. It loves Skella spamming so much, the AI does. And more skeletons is not going to help. Right, so you want to say, okay, what should the AI cast? Maybe if they introduce like a bit of randomness to the AI, where it wouldn't always cast the same thing. You know, there was like let's say it ranked all the spells, and there was like an 80% chance I went for spell 1, and a 10% chance I went for spell 2, and a 5% chance for spell 3. That way you would hopefully get some things like, Soul Slay or whatever coming out, in addition to just Skelly spam. One of the other big reasons that this happens is that the way evocation and a lot of any of the targeting AI works is it will basically say, okay, here's a unit here. What is the radius which I'll likely hit given my range and my precision? And from that, it will decide basically how much friendly fire it expects. And then if the friendly fire is somewhat comparable to, like, basically the more friendly fire you have, the less attractive it's going to look. So that's another problem. Even if the AI wasn't super hard over on Skella spam, once it gets surrounded by skeletons, then even if you had it, even if it was scripted, like you had put, Soul Slay, and the guy's all the way at the back, a lot of times it still won't do it, because even with Soul Slay, which is really high precision, really long range, it will still have like a small little bubble around him that sometimes it won't even target. And certainly with evocations like Thunderstrike, yeah, you can forget about it. It's not going to cast Thunderstrike when you're surrounded by friendlies. Which, honestly, they should change, so that things that are battlefield summons that aren't going to stay after the battle, they don't get factored into friendly fire calculations, but... Okay, so he's at 148. He's not even down to the regenerating point. Let's just see if I can skip through this. I don't even know what happens. It could be the battle replay's a little different than what actually happened. Like, if the Scrotty was in here hitting him, it would be way different. Okay, oh, I know what happened. So this guy has gone berserk. And that's because he gave him a Flesh Eater. And he gave him a Flesh Eater so that this would happen. So that he doesn't have to kill a whole army, he just has to rout them. And then he will win the battle. The problem, though... There we go. The problem, though, is he couldn't get off the battlefield in time. And so he died. So let's take a look at that again. I think that must have meant that there was a Scrotty left on the field with him. Yeah, okay, so here it is. So yeah, one of the Scrotties got nuked, and I think this was one of the communion slaves. So anyway, somewhat of a fire victory in that, well, all these guys are routed, which is not what you want to see. So if you're Utgard, you're upset. If you're a Lemuria, you're a little upset. You had a fair amount of... Let's take a look real quick at the items. You have a fair amount of items invested in this guy, which those are all gone. Let's take a look at how many gems. So this isn't that bad. 5 blood slaves, 10 water gems, 5, 15. So we're at, wait, this 5, oh wait, no. 5, 10... Wait, so 5, 15, 20, 45, 55, 60, 65 gems. So, if you're a Lemuria, you're not super happy with that. This probably was a fight that pissed both players off. Anyway, here we go. Oh. Okay, so I think this was in Indy province, and I forget what I had done. Okay, wait, let's watch. Okay, I think we just saw his pretender, and for some reason I was thinking... What was I even thinking here? Because this is definitely Abysia's. God, what the hell was I thinking? I have no idea. I think I wanted to snipe his pretender. Did I have some... Who the hell was this guy that I moved in there? Let's see where... I think he died, but... Albrecht? Okay, yeah, he died. Did he respawn already? I don't think he'll respawn until next turn. Albrecht, what the hell did I script you with? Okay, I don't see him. So anyway, we have declared war on Abysia. And I have been eyeing this throne. It's about time I take it. Abysia is not fun to fight in the Super Late game, neither am I, but I would rather go ahead and raid him than have to deal with all of his shenanigans. And I also can probably get a throne victory if I attack here. And I've got kind of a limited piece with Lemuria and with Erythra, and if I can snipe this and then maybe snipe this one, I could potentially win. But also, even if I don't get the thrones, I would kind of like to just see if I could conquer Abysia. Whereas they are going to be probably the strongest in the late game after myself. Yeah, and also, he had been building up this big force here, and I have been saying... Okay, Whoops. So here's my message to him. Well, with no Diplo back from you, after somewhat repeated communications, I can only assume you're allied with Lemuria. Given this, I'll try to make the first move. So, Lemuria and I are kind of in a cold war, but I'm expecting they attack me at the same time. Lemuria and I do not have a nap. We don't have a nap. We just kind of had a gentleman's agreement. While we're both dealing with Utgard, let's not attack each other. So he could attack me anytime. What I'm assuming is that Abysia is going to attack me, and Abysia and I don't have a nap. So I do not want to get attacked by both of them at the same time. So what I'm going to do is just start raiding. My raiders are basically going to be just Skelispammers and then sometimes something else. What we're going to be doing here... for some reason, I think this might have been a bump. I think I was just expanding here. I wouldn't have done this script trying to get the queen. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be trying to soul slay the bitch. I'm expecting he's going to site search this turn. And, yeah. So, we're doing Power of the Spheres and then a bunch of soul slay. This guy's doing Light of the Northern Star, so these guys can soul slay a bit easier. And they've got a reinvigoration built into their script, so hopefully they do cool stuff. This guy doing Iron Blizzard to hopefully deal with Skelly Swarms, and this guy doing some Skelispamming himself. So hopefully this will get her nice and dead, because Soul Slay will kill an Immortal for a particularly long time. And knocking their god out for, half a year is definitely a good way to start off a war. We're going to do Soul Vortex, Skeletal Body, and then Horde of Skeletons. Here we've got more Skeleton Raiders. I think, yeah, this one is an attack script. Sometimes I do it where, like, this one they're casting spells, In this case, I'm not. The plan here is that they sit in the back and they're just going to spam skeletons out. And because of Soul Vortex, it's going to kind of, when troops attack them, they'll reinvigorate and then they'll just cast spells. Here, basically, it's a little bit different of a script. I don't know if it's better or worse, but we're going to basically be doing Horde of Skeletons. And then the idea, we'll drop a reinvigoration, and then we'll jump in probably with attack closest right into the midst of the skeletons. Yeah. And then we're attacking from the water here. We don't really have like Cloud Trapeze stuff we can do, but our vampires are going to be able to hop around pretty effectively. We can also dodge Horror Spam if he's hitting that on our vampires because we can stealth out. Vampires are very good raiders, except against Lemuria because ghosts are very good at killing Skelly Spam, and they can undead command your vampires, and their magic weapons hit through vampires' invulnerability. So, not very good against Lemuria, but very good against everyone else in terms of raiding. Yeah, so that's it for the events. So that's basically it. So we have sent the message off for war, and you may not have seen the messages I was sending him, but basically in Steam I was... Well, I know I had been sending him. I must not have been pulling up Diplo, because probably for the past, 10 turns I've been sending him a message like, hey, do you want to help attack Lemuria? It looks like you guys are in peace. And, if you're Abysia, you don't really want the Lemurian lands, but, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He looks like he's going to try to attack me with this, so we'll see what happens. Am I attacking here? Yeah, I'm attacking here with just some Horde of Skeletons. I'm expecting he's not really patrolling, and these guys are not meant to fight this whole army. These guys are meant to just basically raid on top of his throne and see what happens. So with that, thank you all for watching, and I hope you tune in the next episode to see how the fight with Abysia ends up going.